Good afternoon, friends. It is Stephanie Luares from Heart and Soul Fitness and Wellness. And I kind of look like a hot mess today. Humidity, curls are gone. Yeah, new camera, so the view is weird. I'm just a hot mess. Welcome to Mercury retrograde. Anyway, I wanted to come on today and talk about our last Crockpot event that we had last weekend. We had our first in-person and virtual events, which went off wonderfully. Learned a few things too to make the next ones even better. Number one, definitely will not be exceeding the maximum seats. There will be a second session added if we run out for the in-person, because it got a little crazy with a lot of people in one space. We had a lot of fun, but it's going to be much more enjoyable, much more relaxing if we keep to those maximums. So definitely going to hold firm on that. We'll put up a second session if we need to. So upcoming, we have September 16th, and if you haven't perused the registration page where all of the menus for every month through January is listed, for September, we have corn and black bean chicken. It is amazing. Broccoli chicken Alfredo, meatloaf, pizza pasta casserole that's made with ground beef, and mac and cheese and pork adobo. These are great family favorite comfort food type meals that are made in smaller servings. So every recipe, not only during our sessions, but in the cookbook that you get, is about 2 to 4 servings. So when you think about the difference between serving size and portion size, you really kind of end up with like 2 or 3 meals. My husband and I have had a couple of them since Saturday's session, and it was enough for each of us for dinner, and then one meal left over, usually my husband's midnight snack. So, because I find the dishes the next morning in the sink. But we have lots of fun coming up in the following months. You can go to the link and see all of the different menus. But I really wanted to encourage you that if you're thinking about registering, especially for the in-person, because if we do reach those maximums, again, gonna put some new ones on the calendar, and the sooner we can do that, the easier it is for people. But so for September, we still have a few seats. October, we are already halfway full. And November, December, and January already have participants registered. So definitely think about that. Our virtual sessions, we had a great group on Saturday, and there's still plenty of availability in all of those events. And so the difference between in-person and virtual, obviously in person, you need to be here in Lake Havasu City. You can come visit me if you want, but the virtual one, in the in-person, has all of the groceries here provided for you, ready to go, including those dietary adaptations that I'll come back to. The virtual, you join in with us on Zoom, you get a shopping list in advance of the exact quantity of all the different ingredients that you'll need, so that when we get on Zoom together, we go through recipe by recipe, putting them together, and having a few different tips for different things that make those particular dishes taste better. And so in that case, you have the opportunity to purchase your own groceries. One piece of feedback that I had from the virtual session, and you could even say the same for the in-person sessions because of the phenomenal deal of purchasing food in bulk for so many people. But the virtual Crockpot event, one piece of feedback that I received from a participant was she couldn't believe how much she saved on her grocery bill. That if she had gone to the store and bought the ingredients for 6 or 7 different meals, it would have cost her probably $200 to $300. But having that very specific shopping list of this is exactly what you need, and then walking away with those complete meals, she said, I think I only spent like $110 on that food. So having that very specific list of needs is going to help you save money in the long run. I am all about a good deal. So even with the cost of the event on top of the groceries, she's still coming out quite a bit ahead. That's amazing. So dietary adaptations. For our first event, between the in-person and virtual events, all of the recipes were able to be adapted for gluten-free needs, for dairy-free needs, for people who could not have tomatoes. By the way, I'm allergic to tomatoes. I probably know every substitution on the planet for that. And one person even substituted, needed substitution for potatoes. I think there might have been one more, but those are the ones I remember off the top of my head. So in the registration for in-person or virtual, it does have the mandatory question of what are your food allergies, sensitivities, and tolerances, because as I put together those shopping lists and get that food together, whether it's in person, making sure you have the specific ingredients that you need to swap out, or for the virtual session, letting you know, hey, this is the recipe, but this is what you can swap in its place. Just gives people that peace of mind to meet whatever needs you might have. That's the great thing about not only the recipes in our sessions, but the entire cookbook I've put together of over 120 recipes is they all can be adapted to your taste. Another person I was talking to this morning was like, yeah, we're really like seasoning people. We love more spices and condiments and things. So as they're putting those meals in the crock pot, they're adding more than what the recipe called for. Great. Make it adaptable. Make it something that fits you and your taste. Anybody can put together a crock pot recipe for a large family. And most recipes you find, you come out with this giant crock pot of food that if you're a smaller family, you're going to be eating for a week over and over and over again. I can't do that. That's one of the main reasons I don't meal prep, is because I don't like the same thing every day. But having these crock pot meals in smaller quantity makes the convenience of crock pot cooking more accessible to smaller families, to single person households. And you don't have food waste, you have meals that taste good, and all that good stuff. The one thing, I've had a couple people on the registration page have issues with payment, whether it's something with PayPal on PayPal's end or on their end. My registration page processes credit cards through PayPal, so you don't actually have to have a PayPal account. But if for some reason you get all the way through and you're like, is not taking my payment, let me know, because we can go through the back end and take care of your registration that way. I'm more than happy to invoice and get that taken care of. And yeah, and some people just don't like to use PayPal in general, and that's okay. I understand the different people's preferences with internet security, where you're willing to put your card information and not. So I'm gonna work with you. Anyway, I have talked for long enough, and I just wanted to come on and give you a little bit more personal information today because I didn't take a single picture on Saturday. We had so much fun and we're getting into it and really just enjoyed putting those together that, it was more in the moment. So that's something I need to remember for next time so that you can actually see what we did besides like the one picture I had of all of our stuff set up ready to go. But I hope you'll join us. Drop any questions in the comments, direct message me, email me, smoke signal me, whatever you need. I am happy to answer any questions, work out what we need to make this happen so that you can enjoy this event as well. Have a great day and we'll talk soon.